Okay, so now let's do the second isometric. That would be isometric shape number 2. Also having a 1/4-inch grid spacing. So there it is. I think for this particular component, I'm going to draw the right view, which looks kind of like a Z, a backwards Z shape. And then I'm going to cut out this right corner. So I'm just going to draw this Z shape. So imagine that this corner is still there. So I'm doing 3 extrusions. The whole body with this corner attached. Then I'm going to take out this corner. And then I'm going to add the hole. So the first thing I would like to do is activate my parent assembly. And then I'm going to add a new component. I'm going to call it ISO 2. I'm going to turn off my eyeball next to ISO 1. And I'm going to start a sketch. Now if I look back at this ISO, I think I'm going to start with 3 rectangles that are the general shape of this little Z, just so you can get a visual of what I'm trying to do. So kind of is going to look like this. Okay. Now let's go back and let's pick out the sizes here. This bottom rectangle is 1 square by 1 square. I drew it as the full bottom, so let me go back to that. It's 2 squares wide by 1 square tall. So I'm going to dimension that. 2 times 0.25, and it's 1 square tall. 0.25. Now if I look at that middle portion, which is this, if I look, it goes all the way up to the top. I have a visitor coming in during my video. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is a half of a block. It's a half a block. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4.5. So 4.5. And I can type in a half a number. That's okay. So I'm going to go 4.5 times 0.25. There's my height. And that is how many squares wide? 1 square wide. .25. And now you've got that little rectangle that's hanging off to the right. So this is 1.5 squares by 2 squares tall. So I'll start with the 2 squares tall, so 2 times 0.25, and then 1.5 times 0.25 for that. Looks good. I'm going to finish my sketch, and I'm going to extrude that to whatever the depth is, which would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So extrude each of these profiles 8 times 0.25. So that's my overall shape. But I have to take out that little corner here. So I'm going to make a sketch on this face. And if I look, this corner is 1, 2.5 squares wide and 1, 2, 3.5 tall. So 2.5 by 3.5. So 2.5 times 0.25, 3.5 times 2.5 or 0.25. And if I press enter, I have my full box. So now if I go back here, I'm going to verify 2.5. And now I'm 3.5 tall. So now I'm going to finish my sketch, and I'm going to extrude, and I'm going to push it all the way through. For the last portion of this, I'm going to look at my sketch, and I'll notice that this circle has a diameter of 1. To locate the center, you'll count off of this edge, approximately 2.5, off of this bottom, approximately 1.5. So I'm going to go to Fusion, make a sketch on this face. I'm going to draw a circle, type in 0.25, and you're going to dimension very carefully. Click on this edge, point to the center, and you're going to, I already forgot my dimensions. 2.5 off of this edge, 1.5 off of this edge. Go back. So it would be 2.5 times 0.25. Oops, I'm not typing anything, am I? 2.5 times 0.25. And then finally, 1.5 times 0.25. I'm going to finish my sketch, and then I'm going to extrude it all the way through. And then I'm going to save. So that completes isometric number 2. Make sure to add your materials. Remember to right-click, go to Physical, and then that window will pop up eventually, and you can add your material. All right, thanks for watching. Number 3 is coming right along.